I felt like Oda was dragging his feet a little bit for the longest, but now as we're getting more and more information, I feel like the world has just doubled in size with the amount of new information we have. Like the avenues that we can explore, whether that water is gonna, just completely vanish. Um, it's just so weird to be in the final saga, and I feel like while I'm getting answers, I just have 50 more questions to go after it.
Yeah.
I rate this chapter.
I do have another question for you all, of course. So this is in regards to One Piece. So I actually proposed this question by like out of randomly. We could talk about the chapter too, but after kind of alluding to Joy Boy and what's going on in like what back then, there's a war, and I think Oda's doing a good job for Vegapunk in explaining everything. He's being pretty vague in terms of what's the morally correct side the entire time he explains it. He constantly says, "I'm not picking a side" and all that stuff, making the conflict back then seem more than what we think.
Cordell, are you going back to your take from a few weeks ago
What was my take?
that the world government weren't completely bad?
No, I just said, is it possible? I don't know. I still stand by that, but that's not what I'm asking. My question
I'm
is,
watching you, bro.
you can.
He wants to justify Madara so bad.
Talk about
you talking about Lonnie? Oh,
yeah,
we'll
he's looking for the probe, bro. J-Rock. Last week he tried to justify Doflamingo. Then it was Aaron.
I did not try
and then
to
it was Madara. And we knocked them all down.
That's horrible. You can't even justify him. That's horrible.
I mean, well, you were rooting. You were like, you said that Sukuna's Rampage Tsuchibuya inspired you. I don't know what that meant.
Hey,
that's wild.
That's inspired you.
That's different. I said it was inspiring, not that inspired me.
Inspiring
to who? You. I said it was beautiful. I said it was beautiful.
Beautiful.
He was living in his truth. Okay, that's something we all wish we can do. We all wish we could just live in our truth.
He was living in his truth.
And guess what? When the consequences happened, what did he do? He went back inside Yuji's body like a
what
bitch.
Consequences? What consequences were there?
Like a bitch.
He had to take a nap.
But to ask my question, we'll get to the villain stuff. Don't worry, we'll get there. My question is: we've seen Joy Boy get in a war with the world government and technically not succeed. So I'm going to use the word failure. So we've seen Joy Boy go against the world government and fail. We've seen Roger go up against the world government and fail. How do we think Luffy will succeed where Roger and Joy Boy failed against the world government?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought of the question randomly. I'm like,
say it again.
That's a good question.
So how do you think Luffy will succeed where Roger and Joy Boy failed in terms of going up against the world government?
Y'all think Roger? I don't think Roger failed because Roger
was early.
Yeah, I don't think Roger
that's what I was
failed.
about to allude to. I think there's like a parameter of conditions that need to be met. Like there's certain requirements that need to be met in a certain period of time. I just think Luffy's going to be in time to fulfill those exact requirements. Like I would think it's in the terms of the story, it's going to be something like massive and grand, of course, but I don't think it's going to be anything other than that. He's just right place, right time, right fruit, right will. Everything just aligns itself. Right crew.
You know what could be the case? So we know that Roger's journey was very similar to Luffy's. Like they went to basically the same areas. I think that what may be like the slight difference is maybe how Luffy's beliefs interactions are a little bit different. So like for example, I don't think that Roger and Garp's relationship is a one-to-one to Luffy and Kobe's. I feel like Luffy and Kobe's can be more aligned with each other than Roger and Garp were. So that's like, even though they had technically the same journey, that subtle difference could play more into Luffy's hands than a Roger, for example. So I think that it might be that they have the similar journey, but some of Luffy's connections are stronger. That's what I think. So that might be where I think he could succeed or fail. Because I doubt that, especially probably during Joy Boy's time, he probably didn't have anyone connected to the government like Kobe or Garp. So that could be something. It could be something like that, probably.
I think another aspect is just information, like the information that like Roger and Joy Boy have probably accumulated over time is now going to be eventually passed on to Luffy. So he's going to be more prepared and in a better situation than they were. And we also know that like when he was like in the mermaid area or whatever, like that psychic said that he was gonna like tear down the red line or something like that. So that might be like there might be a weapon in there. Like there has to be a reason. Like he's not just gonna tear down the red line just to do it. Like there might be like a weapon or item that's gonna be needed that can like turn things over and stuff like that. So I feel like there's probably a purpose there. And yeah, I feel like maybe with the allies that he has, because he has like his own little mini army when you think about it, then like he can like help turn over the Navy side. Like they're gonna have more allies than not.
So I like what y'all are saying. I agree to a lot of the sentiments. So I was thinking when it comes down to Luffy, because a lot of things you guys are saying technically also probably applied to at the very least Roger. Joy Boy is still very much an unknown, but Roger met basically the same people Luffy met and created his own crazy army of pirates as well. But I think the key thing for Luffy has to be a specific type of alliance. And I think it could either be Shanks, because it seems like Shanks is doing something that even we don't really know what's going on with him, but he's pulling a lot of strings and trying to get a specific thing done. So we don't know what exactly Shank's aim, but he could be the key contributor, or just someone in the world government in general. Someone has to betray the rest of the people. And it could be the military, or it could be maybe Vivi finds something out. Shirahoshi, obviously, he's connected to her as well. But I think it could either be like Shanks or someone in the world government kind of changing their tune. But it could be the military as well. So I think those are big for sure. Anybody else? Any ideas?
No, I was just gonna ask Miles and Ty what they thought of the chapter. I don't know if you read it, J-Rob.
Go ahead, Miles.
Oh, the latest One Piece chapter.
I really enjoyed it. I felt like Oda was dragging his feet a little bit for the longest, but now as we're getting more and more information, I feel like the world has just doubled in size with the amount of new information we have. Like the avenues that we can explore, whether that water is gonna, just completely vanish. It's just so weird to be in the final saga, and I feel like while I'm getting answers, I just have 50 more questions to go after it.
Yeah.
I rate this chapter pretty highly. I'm probably gonna give it like a 9 out of 10. Because we're starting to get like into the meat and potatoes of it. I don't know who is like caught up with like summaries and spoilers. It does look like this message is gonna get cut off soon, so I'm gonna preemptively do kind of say that I am happy that
Oh, I did not finish the chapter.
Oda gave us just enough.
Again.
Oda gave us just enough, and he's gonna allow us to still keep the mystique of like what the Void Century is. But W's, he spoon fed us, but gave us a lot. I'm happy.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Oda's mysteries got aura.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Aura, bro. But I was,
is this the all blue? This is the idea of the all blue, though. If the world is sinking into itself, is this what Sanji's been looking for as a kid? Is it all connected? Is this shit all connected? Is it? I mean, could the all blue be the world sinking into itself?
It doesn't make sense that there's land below. Why didn't the fishmen see it? It doesn't make sense. The best way I can explain it is the fishmen are in their own isolated island. We don't know if they were maybe oppressed in the past and maybe not wiped, but culled to the point where that history may be gone. We've seen the government be able to wipe out history on a wide scale. I don't see why Fishman Island would be excluded from that.
Yeah, and there's obviously one, we know the ocean is huge, especially the One Piece ocean. It's gigantic, and there's different depths of the ocean. The fishermen probably, I would argue, they don't live on the lowest of the low. I mean, at that point, the pressure down there will be too dense. I mean, if you want to go into science, so it could just be lower than the level of the fishmen, and that just could be the explanation.
And not even just that, information just lost over time. That was almost 1,000.
That's what I say.
It's like 1,000 years. Like there's no way that all the information 1,000 years from now is going to be recorded from today. Like information will be lost, and it makes more sense to me that the people underwater didn't notice notice the world sinking. They're underwater, like they're underwater. Like they're not affected. If the sea rise, that don't affect them. Now the person whose house is sinking, they're like, oh shit, they're gonna die for it. But and then also like Riddell said that's the world is so massive that they're just in one section of the world. So
I was gonna add one last thing. We've also seen how they've interacted with other alt races. King's race is extinct. Kuma's race is near extinct. It's not unprecedented for them to fuck with these races for whatever case may be. We all know they have some knowledge of at least a god that existed in the past. I don't see why they can't alter history and move things around.
We see things in our world be altered in real time. Like we'll see something that happened, like things happened like 5 years ago. People will tell it on me to add something else, and we'll believe it. Like that's 1,000 years ago, pretty much. Like nah.
Drink. I don't know, but they're alluding to the ancient weapons. Like I said, these spoilers give us the confirmation of the last one and how it works. But yeah, it's looking like the ancient weapons in some capacity are what are able to sink the world over and over again.
Yeah, but making. So I'm trying to figure out. So
it's the earthquakes.
So
earthquakes.
We basically, I think the earthquakes could be huge. We basically confirmed, right, that in the past this happened before.
Yeah,
that's why you're right. So we brought that up continuously that this happened before in the past. My thing is like, what rationale could be to make this happen in the past? Because Joy Boy, it seemed like, well, the world government.
Why are you talking about the world sinking?
I'm trying to think of like why they're making it seem like it might have been the world government that did it. Like, why did they basically sink the entire civilization?
I think they sunk it because they were probably about to overthrown. That's the only explanation. Like Joy Boy. Yeah, Joy Boy was probably galvanizing people the way that Luffy was, and they're probably about to have a massive revolt. And they said, "Nah, we're gonna use Angel, we're gonna sink the world and erase history." And that's probably why they don't want people to know about that, because I think that the One Piece and all this other stuff is like the key to taking down the government. Like if you find the One Piece, like remember when Whitebeard was at Marineford, he said the person that finds One Piece, the world gonna turn upside down.
Right.
So that means that the One Piece, and people don't want people to know about it. So that means that the One Piece obviously has information that will change the world. Like we know that Odin wrote down that it has secrets of the 100-year void. It has a secret of the will of D. It has the secrets that can literally take down the government. So I think if they find if they sank the world because Joy Boy had that information.
Yeah, I think
I'm reading the chat right now.
Last addendum. I do find it wild how, to add on to Iridel, Oda kind of evened the table. He kind of left it open to it's more of a clashing of ideologies than a who's right or who's wrong. And the victor basically, victor controls the spoils, so to speak.
That's why I'm so like it should be like very clear cut that if you guys sink the world because you're losing power, you're the bad guys.
Because Vega's very on the
making it ambiguous makes me think like, no way, it's that simple.
He's like, I'm not going to say who's right or who's wrong, but
I think in the end, Joy Boy would be on the right side of history. I just think that he's trying to keep, like you said, the mystique of it still. Like, yo, what really happened? So that's what I think it's going to be, because everything we know of Joy Boy, who freed people and brought smiles. There's no way that this dude was the bad guy, and the whole time the world government that has slaves and murders people cause Buster calls, they're on the right side of history. I don't believe that.
Also, this is important. This came back to me.
You saw they justified.
I'm asking now. I was asking Lonnie, are they justified?
Hey, Doflamingo said it best. Whoever wins is technically the one that's just. That's what he said. I'm just quoting my man.
I kind of feel that. Like, are you mad at the world government for killing the Lunarians? I mean, they could fly, bro.
I mean, if they up.
It's about survival. I mean, it's a food chain, right?
That actually brings me back to something I forgot.
You got Lonnie started.
I dead ass forgot I was going to talk about it. So, because I was arguing with Random about Madara thing. By the way, guys, he's trying to argue with me about Madara, but his ass is still in the tuning exams, so he don't.
Yeah, I don't know why Random was debating.
I don't know why he was trying to talk to me about Madara's ideals when he's in the tuning exams. But you know what? It got me a little thinking. It got me doing my research. So I had a question for all y'all. Like, who's really worse, the Akatsuki or the villages?
The villages.
The villages, right? Okay.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
I think a lot of. I'll say this. Listen,
we're getting into that intention conversation. And
no, listen. This is my thing, Miles. I think 1,000%. I think governments can create their monsters. Now, their monsters aren't justified for their actions because you're not justified for violence towards innocent people who had no no cause and whatever violence or motive that you have that inflicts violence on people who are innocent. But I mean, like just in Naruto alone, I mean, their government was corrupt as hell, bro.
Like, I'll get to all that. So yeah, like the villagers actually hired the so the villagers hired the Akatsuki for stuff. You want to say like, oh,
the said not the leaf, not the leaf. What? Yeah, the leaf was corrupt.
Be very specific.
No, I'm talking about hiring.
I'm talking about all the
hiring
villagers.
the ops.
I'm gonna go down the list. So
hold on. Be very specific, because when you say villages, we have to keep in mind, yeah, there's bad people, but there's also a lot of good people in these villages too, and a lot of innocent people in these villages. So,
like,
what exactly are you talking about?
Fine, the leaders of these villages. So let's go with the
which leaders.
Hashirama, like, it was a good person. Minato was a good person. Obviously, Naruto, like, there are some bad ones, but you have like Tsunade.
Of course, there's good in the villages, but I'm talking about actions. I'm mainly talking about actions. So, like, what are some of the Kashi's actions? They kidnapped Chinchurkis. They kidnapped people. What did the Lightning Village do? Did they try to kidnap? They attempted to kidnap Hinata. That didn't go well. So guess what? That got intervened, and then Nechi's dad died. Oh, didn't they also try to kidnap Naruto's mom when she was the Chinchurki? And then Minato had to save him when he was a kid? So I'm just saying, but Zabuza's village. How do you become a ninja? Oh yeah, you have to kill your classmates. There's that. So the Earth Village. They hired Akatsuki on multiple occasions. So you want to go with you want to go with the
I mean, they turned the Rain Village into a battlefield, bro.
I guess the problem with this is that
bro,
like,
on one land, bro, they turned that shit into the battleground. Some people's
war.
The Sand Village was training Gara by having him kill multiple of their own people.
One nation was the battleground for, not everybody.
That's how war works.
They used them people's land as a playground for their
Ty, go ahead, gang.
And I'm going to say this right. Here's my problem. Here's my problem, right? Even though you have good and bad villages, like there's a lot of good history, a lot of bad history. The Akatsuki are just all bad. Like they're all.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying in the short amount of time that Akatsuki are around. If you want to compare the list,
how to say lie.
It's not about the deeds done.
I can't obviously can't compare the length of time because obviously the village has been around longer than Akatsuki. Like, duh. I get that. What I'm saying is, if I'm just basing off of it, like relative to the amount of time they're around, they're obviously the most bad because like they're not only are they mass murderers, not only are they like just straight up terrorists, they try to put the entire world under a genjutsu, like they take away the free will of humanity.
I agree. I'm not saying the Akatsuki aren't evil. I'm not saying that at all. Akatsuki are evil, but it's not like we're just gonna sit here and act like, oh, all these villages are just whoop-de-doo.
No one's
like,
saying that.
We're not.
Type bullshit.
Not saying
that.
I have a question for you. We named redeeming qualities of villages. For example, Hashirama was a good person. Hashirama, Minato, Naruto. What are the redeeming qualities of the Akatsuki?
All right, so you want to go there? Because I'll get nasty. Sasori loved his family. Sasori loved his family. You know, Orochimaru wanted to stop. Itachi loved his brother.
What?
Itachi's the only exception.
You know, Pain. You know, he don't. I'm just being nasty. You know, Pain and Conan, like their backstory. So if you want to bullshit it, we can bullshit. Yo.
We're not BSing though.
We're not BSing.
No, I'm just saying because I'm not justifying the Akatsuki at all. I'm just saying that
they're not
villages are also fucked up.
No. Your original question,
yes,
was who was worse, the villages?
So you're trying to
Akatsuki.
When villages have done literally every single thing that the Akatsuki have done. That when they've done everything, you can list everything that they've done. The villages have literally done on paper everything as well. Plus some, and including things to each other on a daily basis. They're always on the brink of war. Whether you want to go to the movies, whether you want to go to canon, Boruto, they're always doing side shit behind each other's back. They've kidnapped people, they've assassinated people, they've gone to war multiple times. So saying like, oh, the Akatsuki are so bad when literally the villages have done the exact same shit, like you plus some, it's bullshit to me.
But they've done good though.
I have a question. This is gonna be a crazy question too. Al Qaeda, they're good.
Yo,
Yo, Lonnie, die on this hill, boy.
Die on your hill, bro.
You have to say
I'm
yes.
mad, Miles.
You're literally
Miles,
saying
I'm mad at you because you
organization-
just took my question. You just took one of my questions.
Did I?
Yes, you just took one of my
Are
questions.
Al
Did
Qaeda?
did I call the Akatsuki good?
Okay, that's fair. Would you say Al
Hold
Qaeda is
on.
worse than America?
Are they worse than America?
You think we're worse than Al Qaeda?
I work for the government, so I'm not answering that question.
Yo,
we all just know who the bully for the world
Such a
is.
nasty hill to die on.
Hold on, real quick.
My hill is just that the villagers are also fucked up. So just saying like the term like good guys, like oh these are the good guys of the Naruto verse. It's kind of like really.
Yeah,
so
Naruto's objectively a good guy.
Naruto's a good guy. Yeah, you can say Naruto. Are you calling Sasuke a good guy?
Gaara's the leader of the Sand Village. He's objectively a good guy.
Now,
like what are we saying?
He's a good guy now.
Yeah,
when he's a leader. As a
Yeah,
leader, he was a good guy. You said the
Would
leaders. As a leader, he's a good guy.
They got out the bad leaders and put in the good leaders.
Right. Shikamaru is objectively a good leader.
Great leader.
Come on, man.
Come on, Randall. What's your question?
Look, I missed the start of the conversation. Probably Lonnie slandering me because he was probably in the tuning exams. He doesn't know. I don't need to read the final arc to know. Okay, I don't need to read the final arc or the freaking war arc to know that Lonnie is just trying to spread the blame. We know the villagers are bad. The same way we know governments are bad.
So just keep that same energy. That's all I'm saying. Keep that same energy.
Lonnie. We can't keep
the reason why people talk about Madara the way they do. Besides, let's talk about it first. He's the most high profile. He did the most high profile thing, so that's going to garner people's attention more. And also, he literally took people's free will away. He tried to solve a societal problem in a way that it couldn't be solved. He was wrong. You can't solve war that way. War is always coming. I bet you said in the Tsukuyomi he showed people's perfect lives. Somebody's perfect life in there is murdering somebody. Somebody's perfect life in there is murdering somebody, and that means that he was wrong. That's always been my thing. You just want to spread it all around. We know that everybody else is wrong too. And this is me. Because guess what? I'm still in the tuning exams, but you lived in our world. He's the most high profile. He did the most high profile thing. That's why people focus on it. That's why
you say him taking away people's free will is wrong, right? But then also when we were talking about this in the group chat, you're like, when we were talking about like murder and like right and wrong and like justifiable killing, you're like, oh, you asked me, are soldiers murderers? And I said no, because technically by the definition, soldiers, it's war, right? So if it's a ninja war, that means that Madara fighting people is not technically murder, right?
All right, man.
And I'm going there. No, murder. So in war, people kidnap people all the time, right? Like prisoners of war. So if it's war and it's justified, they're prisoners of war. So technically, that's not wrong. I'm just saying, you can have prisoners. America has prisoners of war. Al Qaeda has prisoners of war.
You using that point highlights the lack of context.
At the end of the day, they're prisoners of war.
The act of taking prisoners in war, Lonnie, stop.
It's a war. Deal with it.
Stop.
It's a war.
Lonnie, stop.
It's a war.
Lonnie, the act of taking prisoners in war.
It's a war, nigga.
Lonnie.
Wait, hold on.
Let me say this. Now be quiet, Riddell. I promise. The act of taking prisoners as war is not the problem. It's what you do with the prisoners that becomes the problem.
Oh, he gave them the perfect dream. Oh my God, what a travesty!
No, he took away their free will, bro. How do you keep
the prisoners?
Why do you think the characters weren't good with this, bro? Like, why do you think you thought like none of them thought this? Like, this is insane.
Because you would be one of those people getting mad if you got that.
I always say that.
Because your perfect world would probably not be what you think it is.
I always say this example. If we saw a news report that flashed on all our screens saying everyone is required to put a helmet on and you'll get your perfect dream, but it's mandated, you have no option, we'd be freaking out. We'd be like, what the hell?
But that's not the same setting. That's not the same setting.
What he did.
That's not the same thing. No, because they're literally fighting. Random. There's a difference.
No, but what I'm saying is
that
Madara, they would have to put their trust into Madara saying you take away our free will is a good thing. We have to trust that you're gonna do the right thing. The reason why we be skeptical of that because they don't trust Madara, which they shouldn't. The same way
Well, if that's the case, then beat the nigga. If that's the case, then beat the nigga. It's a war. It's a war.
They
It's a
beat
war
him.
time. Yeah, they beat him. Yeah, they beat him. So
Lonnie, this is a terrible hill
we're not
to
arguing
die
about
on,
who
bro.
won or lost. What we're saying is that if our government proposed the same thing Madara did, we'd be terrified.
Yes,
we would.
Yes, but Madara is not their government.
Lonnie, let me ask you.
Don't piss me off, Lonnie. Don't piss me off.
Yo, this is
Lonnie
is
top
crazy.
tier.
I'm gonna say this: if we go down there, there are people. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna be very vague, and then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna be very vague, and then we're gonna move on. There are people in history that said that their way is the right way, killed a lot of people, and based off Lonnie's logic, if he won the war, he's right. I'm just saying right. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me, and that is crazy. That is
ridiculous. It's very crazy.